Hello, Hope School family. This is Darren Wilson, Director of Online Operations at Hope School of Leadership. In today's Deep Dive podcast, we'll be talking about human development and lifelong learning, Section 5. We're glad you've joined us today. I think you'll enjoy the conversation. Let's listen in.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. You know, it's easy to fall into that trap, isn't it? Thinking of learning as just, classrooms or textbooks, maybe a course you sign up for.
Right, that very traditional picture.
Exactly. But what if learning is actually happening, everywhere, all the time, from day one? It's not just a phase, it's this constant unfolding.
You've hit on something really key there. I think people often miss that learning isn't just cramming facts, it's this whole ecosystem, that shapes how we grow.
Okay, so that's what we're doing today then.
Yeah, in this deep dive, we're going to peel back the layers on those often invisible factors, the things that really dictate how we absorb knowledge and keep developing.
We're talking environments.
Yeah.
Strategies.
Exactly. The environments where learning happens, the actual strategies we use to grapple with information, and maybe most importantly, how you can personalize that whole journey for, lifelong growth.
Right. So our mission today is basically to give you a shortcut. Understand these core pieces, get some practical tools.
And hopefully make learning feel less like a chore and more like, a fulfilling part of life.
Okay, let's dive in. Where do we start? These invisible architects, the environments.
Perfect starting point. Because when we say learning environment, it's so much more than just the room itself.
Right. It's not just four walls.
No, it's this really complex mix. The physical stuff, yes. But also the social side, the emotional vibe. It all works together to shape how we learn, how we build skills, and even how we use what we learn.
Okay, so let's break that down. Physical environment first. That's the easy one to picture, I guess.
It's the most tangible, yeah. Your desk, the chair, the light, how tidy or messy things are, even pictures on the wall.
And this isn't just classrooms, right?
Yeah.
It would be your kitchen table, the library.
Or that coffee shop you always go to. Anywhere learning happens. And it's not just about being comfortable, though that matters.
Huh. How so?
Well, think about it. A really well-designed space can actually sort of help rewire your brain for focus. Good lighting means less eye strain, less fatigue.
Yeah.
A comfy chair means you're not fidgeting.
And clutter. Clutter definitely splits my attention.
Exactly. A tidy space minimizes those distractions. Even how furniture is arranged sends a message, like desks in a circle signal collaboration, right? Rows might mean more independent focus.
That idea of a space rewiring your brain is pretty powerful. So as adults, how much control do we really have? Can we actually, manipulate our space?
Oh, absolutely. Huge agency. You can consciously create that dedicated quiet zone at home, make sure the lighting's right, choose the quiet cafe.
Maybe even just putting up something inspirational.
Yeah.
Or related to what you're learning.
Yes, displaying your work or notes or quotes. It builds this sense of ownership. It subtly tells your brain, this is my learning space. It primes you.
Okay, so physical space sets the stage. But what about the people? The interactions? That's the social environment.
Precisely. That's the next crucial layer. All the human stuff, teachers, classmates, mentors, family, colleagues, all those relationships and group dynamics.
And you mentioned a positive social environment fosters belonging. How deep does that go? What happens if that psychological safety isn't there?
It's fundamental. Imagine you're in a meeting and asking a question gets you an eye roll.
Oof, yeah. Been there.
Even if you're brilliant, you'll probably just clam up next time, right? If you don't feel safe to ask, to make mistakes, to float a half-baked idea without getting shot down,
Your engagement just tanks.
it atrophies, exactly. But strong, trusting relationships, that makes feedback gold. You hear it as support, not attack.
And it's worth saying, those toxic environments aren't just unpleasant. They're like cognitive black holes. They actually suck away your mental energy from learning.
Spot on. Setting boundaries isn't just about comfort, it's about protecting your focus, protecting your growth.
Which leads us nicely into the third layer, the emotional one.
Yes, the emotional environment. This is the overall feeling, the tone, the mood, the psychological atmosphere. How does it feel to be learning there? It's internal, but so powerful.
Okay, this feels very personal. And it sounds like a lot of it is internal work for us as learners. What's a common pitfall here? People trying too hard, maybe?
I think the biggest trap is often harsh self-judgment and that fear of failure. We take setbacks personally instead of seeing them as, data points.
Right. Not, I failed, but okay, that approach didn't work.
Exactly. A positive emotional space feels safe, respectful, trusting. You feel valued, so you invest more. You feel confident enough to try things, even if you might mess up, because you trust the effort counts.
So is there like one practical thing someone could start doing tomorrow to build that self-compassion you mentioned?
Maybe try a quick 1-minute reflection after a learning session. Just ask yourself, what's one thing I tried today, even if it wasn't perfect, and what's one tiny win I can acknowledge? It shifts focus to effort and progress, not just perfection.
I like that. And these ideas, physical, social, emotional, they apply everywhere, right? Not just school.
Everywhere, within families. It's having that quiet space, sure, but also open communication, modeling curiosity, praising the effort, not just the grade.
Fostering that growth mindset.
Yes, in classrooms, flexible seating involving students and setting expectations, strong teacher-student bonds, making it safe to try.
And at work, in organizations.
Similar principles, good ergonomics, spaces designed for collaboration, but also quiet focus, open feedback cultures, mentoring programs, valuing continuous learning.
And, crucially, making it okay to learn from mistakes. Maybe even celebrating those lessons.
Absolutely. Managers really need to model that, accepting failure as part of the innovation process.
Okay, so let's tie this together. How do these three environmental layers, physical, social, emotional, directly impact the core things we need for learning, like concentration, motivation, engagement?
It's a combined effect, really. A good physical setup cuts down external distractions, helping concentration.
Less noise, less clutter.
Right. A positive social vibe reduces that internal anxiety, that fear of judgment, which also frees up focus. You feel safer participating.
And the emotional piece.
That fosters a calm mental state. If you feel supported and valued, you're not fighting internal battles of self-doubt. You can actually engage with the material. It enables that deep work.
Makes sense. And what about motivation? That inner drive, how does the environment fuel that?
Well, environments that offer choice, for instance, or challenges that are, just right, not too easy, not overwhelmingly hard.
Goldilocks zone.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Sparking curiosity is huge. Even allowing for a bit of fantasy or playfulness, like game elements. When you feel capable, when you see how your effort connects to results, your intrinsic motivation just goes up.
And engagement. Going beyond just paying attention to being really invested.
Yeah, that's where things like authentic activities come in. Tasks that feel real, not just academic exercises. Opportunities for real interaction. And a clear sense of purpose. Why am I learning this?
When it connects to your life, your interests, it stops feeling like work.
Exactly. It becomes a pursuit.
Okay, so that covers the where,
Yep.
the environment, but then there's the how, the actual strategies we use to engage with information. And you said these aren't just for teachers.
Not at all. They're invaluable tools for you as a lifelong learner guiding your own path. And for anyone teaching or mentoring, of course.
So what's the first type?
The most common one is probably expository instruction. Basically, learning from experts.
Like listening to us now.
Pretty much. It's mostly one-way communication. An expert presents info in a structured, organized way. Clear explanations, definitions, logical flow. Often starts general, then gets specific.
So lectures, presentations, reading articles or textbooks, watching tutorials.
All classic examples. It's really efficient for getting foundational knowledge down when you're directing your own learning.
Okay, what's next?
Then you have interactive instruction. This is all about learning through social interaction, two-way communication.
Because learning is social, fundamentally.
Deeply social. This strategy emphasizes dialogue, discussion, swapping ideas. It really pushes critical thinking and helps you see different perspectives.
Examples. Group discussions, seminars.
Q&A sessions, debates, even one-on-one tutoring or mentoring, anything where there's back and forth.
So if I'm learning something complex, just writing isn't enough. I should actually talk about it.
It's incredibly helpful. Talking forces you to organize your thoughts, articulate them, and you quickly find the gaps.
Ah, the unknown unknowns.
Precisely. So for you, the lifelong learner, seek out chances to discuss things. Online forums, study buddies, talking with mentors. It cements understanding way better than passive listening.
Okay, number 3. I have a feeling I know this one. When I was learning to code, reading books felt like wading through treacle. But the second I actually started typing code, breaking things in a sandbox environment, boom, it clicked. Is that hands-on instruction?
That is exactly hands-on instruction, sometimes called experiential or kinesthetic learning. It's about physical engagement, actually doing the thing.
Not just reading or hearing about it.
Right. And it's often tied to authentic real-world tasks. So science experiments, playing an instrument, practicing a sport,
Using software, building a model, simulations.
flight simulators, sales role-playing, all of it for skills. It's not just helpful, it's essential. You don't learn to ride a bike by reading a manual.
Good point. So if you're learning software, open it up, mess around. Learning a language, try speaking it, even badly at first.
Seek out those authentic ways to apply the knowledge. It bridges the gap between knowing about something and knowing how to do it.
Okay, one more strategy.
Collaborative instruction. This is where you have 2 or more teachers or experts working together.
Okay, how does that work?
They plan together, teach together, monitor progress together. Think co-teaching in schools like a general ed and special ed teacher, or multiple coaches focusing on different aspects of a sport. Cross-disciplinary teams working on a project. It leverages diverse expertise.
So for me, learning on my own, I probably don't have 2 teachers handy. How can I simulate that benefit?
Great question. You simulate it by actively seeking out diverse resources from different experts. Don't just read one book.
Okay. Read a book by one person, watch a lecture by another.
Maybe listen to a podcast interview with a third, join a discussion forum with peers who have different backgrounds. It gives you varied perspectives, a more rounded, holistic understanding. You're intentionally looking at the topic through multiple lenses.
That makes a lot of sense. Enriching the input. Okay, so we've got environments, we've got strategies. Now, what about putting it all together in a way that fits us specifically? Differentiated learning.
Exactly. The ultimate personalization, the core idea is simple. People are different. Wildly different.
Prior knowledge, learning styles, abilities, what motivates them?
Right. So a one-size-fits-all approach to learning just doesn't really work effectively for everyone. Differentiation means proactively adapting how things are taught or learned to accommodate that diversity.
It's not about making a totally separate plan for every single person, though.
No, not usually. It's more about providing multiple options, different ways to take in information, different ways to process it, different ways to show what you've learned.
And for us, learning throughout life, this becomes our own toolkit, right? We become our own teacher, differentiating for ourselves.
That's the really empowering part. You are the architect. You tailor the journey to your own brain.
So how do we do that? You mentioned 4 aspects we can differentiate.
Yes. First is differentiating content. This is about varying what you learn or maybe how you access that core information.
Give me an example. Learning about AI.
Okay, good one. You might start with, say, an easy-to-read introductory article, then maybe watch a video tutorial explaining a specific concept visually, then listen to a podcast with experts debating its future, and then, if you need to, dive into a dense technical paper.
So I'm choosing the content type and complexity based on where I am and what I need next.
Exactly. You're differentiating the what and how of accessing it.
Okay, second.
Differentiating process. This is varying how you actually make sense of the content, the activities, the strategies you use to work with the information.
So I've read that AI article. Now what? What are my process options?
Well, if you're visual, you might draw a mind map connecting the key ideas. If you're auditory or social, you might talk about it with a friend or colleague.
Explain it to them.
Right. If you're kinesthetic, maybe you try coding a tiny related script or building something conceptually. Or if you're reflective, you might write a summary in your journal. The point is choosing the activity that helps you internalize it best, not just sticking to one default method.
Okay, content, process. What's third?
Differentiating product. This means varying how you demonstrate or use what you've learned. Moving beyond just, say, a mental checkmark that you've read it.
So in school, the product is often a test or an essay. What are my options as a self-directed learner?
Think bigger. Could you explain the concept clearly to someone else? That really tests understanding. Could you build a small project using the knowledge?
Write a blog post about it. Create a little presentation just for yourself to organize the key takeaways.
Absolutely. Or apply the concept to solve a real problem you're facing. You get to choose the product that not only shows you've learned it, but actually helps solidify it for practical use in your life.
Right, making it stick. And the last one, differentiating the learning environment. We talked about environments earlier.
Yes, but here it's about consciously shaping it as part of your personalized strategy, taking control.
So physically, choosing quiet or social spaces, depending on the task, ensuring good light, Comfort.
Socially, actively seeking out those diverse learning groups or mentors we mentioned. Finding your tribe.
And emotionally.
That's cultivating the internal environment.
Yeah.
Practicing self-compassion, managing anxiety about learning, reframing mistakes, celebrating small wins, taking ownership of your internal state as much as the external one.
Okay, this is powerful stuff. So, practically speaking, how does someone actually start doing this as an adult learner? Where's step one?
Step one has to be conducting a self-assessment. You need to know yourself as a learner.
What do I already know? What are my preferred styles? Visual, auditory, reading, writing, kinesthetic.
What are your cognitive strengths? Are you analytical, creative, good at memorizing, better with concepts? And what genuinely motivates you? What makes you curious? That self-awareness is the bedrock. Do it regularly, too.
Okay, know thyself. Then what?
Curate your learning content. Don't just grab the first thing you find. Be intentional.
Seek out different types of materials, books, articles, courses, podcasts, videos.
Mix it up. Start introductory if you need to, then level up. And actively look for content that clicks with your learning style. If you hate dry textbooks, find engaging videos or interactive courses.
Makes sense. Then actively engage with it.
Yes. Vary your learning processes and activities. Don't just be passive. If you read, interact with the text, highlight, annotate, summarize.
If you watch or listen, take notes, pause, maybe talk back to it, summarize sections aloud.
For concepts, draw those mind maps or diagrams. Try teaching it, even to an empty chair. For skills, it's practice, practice, practice. Build things. Use problem-solving frameworks like the ideal model, perhaps. Actively work with the material.
And then create something meaningful from it.
Exactly. Design meaningful products of learning. Ask yourself, how will I use this knowledge? How will I show myself I've learned it?
Personal projects, writing summaries or posts, explaining it to others.
That explaining part is huge for consolidation. And figure out how you'll measure your own progress. What does success look like for you on this topic?
Okay, and finally, bring it back to the environment.
Right. Consciously shape your learning environment. Take control of the physical space, minimize distractions, create your zone, build your social support network, online groups, mentors, accountability buddies.
And crucially, manage that internal emotional environment.
Nurture it. Self-compassion, celebrating wins, reframing setbacks, managing stress. It's all part of optimizing your learning potential.
Wow. Okay. So, wrapping this up, we've really covered a lot of ground.
We have. We've explored how learning is so deeply influenced by, well, where you are, the environment, how you engage the strategies, and how much you tailor it all to yourself. Differentiation.
And understanding this, internalizing it, it means you're not just passively receiving information anymore, are you?
Not at all. You become the conscious architect of your own growth, your own continuous development.
Empowered to make learning this vibrant, effective, and actually fulfilling part of your whole life, not just a phase.
Absolutely. So maybe the invitation to everyone listening is to take a moment and reflect.
Reflect on your own learning journey.
Yeah. Which environments are really working for you right now? Which ones aren't? What new strategy could you maybe experiment with this week?
How can you be more intentional about differentiating your path forward?
Because the power to transform how you learn, how effectively you learn, how much you enjoy learning.
It really is in your hands. Thank you for joining us on The Deep Dive.